Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on this independent off-tube studio commentary. Boxing Day fixtures have already got underway with the earlier kick-off. Manchester City just drawing with Everton 1-1 in the early game. We are now underway here at Stamford Bridge for a very local West London derby here between Chelsea and Fulham. Arguably, you could actually get the same tube station to get to both grounds here, so they really are very close to each other. A rivalry, of course, there is a rivalry, but it's not the sort of hatred that you see with other teams. Fulham and Chelsea have sort of been sort of polite rivals towards each other over the years. But that said, it should be a fairly good game at Stamford Bridge. We know that Fulham can cause problems wherever they go, and Chelsea have been excellent this season. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Eirik Stangnes taking the action. Eirik, it's one of those games where if Chelsea start well, it could be a difficult one, but if they start slowly, Fulham can make some problems here for Chelsea.
Yeah, definitely, because Fulham, they're really hard to beat. They got a draw at Liverpool the last away game, although it played against 10 men, but still they hang on for a draw, and we're winning twice. So they're drawing a lot of games. They drew at Arsenal, I think, just now, and a disappointing draw against Southampton. Same with the Chelsea, disappointing draw last time out as well, 2-0. Yeah, Fulham, I think they're always a joy to watch. The football they play is good. But Chelsea are favourites. They expect to win today, but I have a sneaky feeling for Fulham.
Well, the thing with Fulham is, as you say, that they have got some really they are very well organised in the middle of the park, and they've certainly found a way to make it more difficult for teams to beat them. As you said, they have had some good draws, a 1-1 draw at home to Arsenal, that 2-2 draw away at Liverpool. They had a 1-1 draw away at Spurs at the beginning of the month as well. Just the one defeat in the last 6 games, Fulham, but there have been a few draws. And they go on the attack now down the left. That ball for Anthony Robinson, just a little bit too quick. The US international couldn't quite keep it in play. All the 3 o'clock games are available on our service. Bournemouth, Palace, Newcastle, Villa, Nottingham Forest, Spurs and Southampton, West Ham. There's already a goal in the game between Newcastle and Aston Villa. It's Anthony Gordon with the goal. It's an excellent start there for Newcastle.
Yeah, they scored earlier again, Newcastle, Anthony Gordon. And Newcastle, one of the teams probably be expecting, with a low points tally for the 4th place at the moment, there might be a top 4 aspiration among probably about 7 or 8 teams now.
Absolutely. Well, Guardiola gave an interview just before Christmas saying that City may not make the top 4. Imagine that if he'd have said that in August. People are saying, what's he talking about? But of course, based on the last 2 months, it's absolutely logical that City may miss out on the top 4. That's my favourite stat from the last few weeks, is the fact that if the season had started on the 1st of November, then City would be second bottom right now. It really has been an awful few months for them. But Chelsea just messing around with it a little bit in midfield. There was a chance there for Iwobi to get forward. Just as he was picking the ball up there in midfield, he gets robbed of the ball there by Caicedo, and Chelsea now back in possession. Just to remind you, the 2-11s very quickly. Robert Sanchez in goal for Chelsea. Back four of Gusto, Adarabioyo, Colwell and Marco Correa. Caicedo and Fernandes are the 2 holding midfielders, with Sancho, Palmer and Pedro Neto as the attacking 3 behind Jackson. The Fulham 11 is Bert Leno in goal. A back 3 of Diop, Anderson and Bassi. Castagna and Robinson are the 2 wide men. The 4 across the middle are Iwobi, Andreas Pereira, Lukic and Traore, with Raul Jimenez as the front man. And now it's Iwobi down the left here for Fulham. It's a bit of a head start here on Gusto, then plays it square into one's Andreas Pereira. They're getting a little bit bogged down here on the left-hand side, Fulham, but they do keep possession high up the field here against Chelsea. All the way back towards the halfway line now. Lukic towards Joachim Anderson. Bassi now down the left here for Fulham. Lukic in towards Iwobi. Iwobi's pass, not a good one. It was intended for Pereira. It's cut out here by Palmer, and suddenly Chelsea can try and go on a counter. But just as Sancho was getting forward, he gets stopped by Castagna. And it's Fulham now back in possession here with Andreas Pereira. Back over towards Castagna again, who's back in the team. He was out of the team for a few games, wasn't he, Castagna?
Absolutely, and there are a lot of changes for Fulham today. So more of a defensive lineup for Fulham today than in previous game. They just make sure that back 5 is more solid. So good, a really big game for Lukic and Pereira in midfield to stop Cole Palmer, who started the game with picking up a loose pass straight away.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's they need to stop. They can't do that.
They can't give the ball away like that. But I think it's interesting how Fulham have got Pereira and Lukic as their central midfield too, because Pereira is more of a number 10 really. But I think by having a back 3 and then having Pereira just gives them that little bit more cover in midfield, and also allows Pereira to get forward. But here come Chelsea now. It's a good run from Pedro Neto, gets all the way to the edge of the area. Bassi is saying it should be a goal kick, and it's almost like who's better at convincing the linesman there, and the linesman eventually agrees with Calvin Bassi, but could have just as easily been a corner there, I think.
Yeah, just as you said, Bassi, he was left arm in the air, and it just swinging it around. He got the last touch. It wasn't me. And Neto didn't appeal too much. So if the linesman was like in doubt, They might be all right. He's probably right. We know that they actually do look at players' reactions.
They do. I mean, they shouldn't really. It should just be a case of where the ball's gone and who it's come off of. But sometimes a player just styling out, saying, well, it's clearly our ball, just leaving it casually, can sometimes convince the referee, well, he must be telling the truth then. But on that occasion, it worked out for Fulham. They could have conceded a corner. It was just a goal kick. They've played out from the back, and it's with Lukic now just being closed down there by Enzo Fernandez, going back towards Issa Diop. He's under pressure, going back towards Anderson as Fulham aren't too keen on playing a long ball just yet. They're quite happy to keep here in midfield. It's Iwobi now clipping a ball over top. It's a great ball as well for Robinson if he can get there. Just a couple of yards too quick there for Anthony Robinson. Adebayo, who of course knows this Fulham team very well, having been there on loan last season, is able to cut that one out, and it's back with Tosin Adebayo going back towards Robert Sanchez. It's not the best pass, he almost hit his own defender in the back of the head there, but it just about gets through towards Cucurella. And that's an interesting one for me with Chelsea, that for all this squad rotation, these the amount of players that they have, they are really short of a couple of high-end goalkeepers, really, aren't they?
Well, Sanchez has been he's their number one choice now. He was the second choice for Brighton when
they sold him. They didn't even need him on their bench when they sold him.
Exactly. So. Yeah, it's Kepa is now playing at Bournemouth. You think maybe he would have been the first choice if he stayed at Chelsea. So, but I suppose he is the number one goalkeeper now.
He is, but I suppose you wouldn't have thought if Enzo Maresca was building a team himself, he wouldn't sign Robert Sanchez to be his number one goalkeeper at Chelsea. I think it's almost like he's there at the right place at the right time. And I don't want to necessarily fixate too much on him, because it's not like he's a bad goalkeeper, but I just think that for all the planning and all the signings that Chelsea have had, maybe they have let themselves a little bit short in that department. But here come Fulham down the left now. It's Iwobi's ball into Robinson. Robinson felt as though it might have been brought down there by Gusto. Referee Sam Barrett says no, the ball is cleared into midfield. Jackson's robbed of the ball, and there could have been a free kick there for Chelsea. The referee says no, he's been consistent, and then Iwobi's pass down the left is just overhit. It's not going to reach Anthony Robinson, and it's out for a Chelsea goal kick.
Yes, it's decent play by Fulham in midfield. They recycle the ball, and you can see early in the game they're trying to get Robinson on the run, and they just challenged the back four of Chelsea. So first time he came forward, Adebayo read that run and just got a toe to the ball, and now it's overhit. But that ball, if it's better weight on the ball, that's at least a cross into the box from Robinson.
Yeah, well, he's certainly a better starter from Fulham. We've had 7.5 minutes on the clock, and the visitors have actually made more of an attempt to get forward, really, haven't they?
Absolutely, and quite impressed by Fulham. They've not really changed the game much, because it's Chelsea, and they are the underdog today. Chelsea quite big favourites to go second behind Liverpool, and might be a title contender. Chelsea looks at them or Arsenal probably are the only one I can do anything about. Liverpool, Forest and Bournemouth, I don't think they can have a title challenge despite the lofty position.
Yeah, title challenge is probably a little bit too much, but certainly top four are what people are saying about Forest and potentially Bournemouth as well. Another chance wasted there for Fulham. They need to jump on Chelsea here, while Chelsea are a bit slow to start. That was another good chance to send Robinson off down the left, and the pass was overhit. So now a throw on to Chelsea, but Fulham are putting pressure on at the edge of the Chelsea penalty area. It's played back to Robert Sanchez. He just rolls the ball out to Colwill. And Chelsea now trying to build from the back here. Colwill with a bit of space to move the ball into the Fulham half. He's got Cucurella and Sancho on the left. He's got options to switch it to the right. Just chooses to play it all the way back towards Adebayo, who was the furthest one back for Chelsea. Malo Gusto now over towards the right-hand side. Pedro Neto into Fernandez. But again, Fulham have got plenty of players just pressing towards the halfway line. So no options here really for the home side. It's with Adebayo again. Cucurella just dropped a bit deeper, but there's more space for Chelsea down the left now as Cucurella finds Sancho. Sancho at the edge of the area. He gets away from Castagna, puts the ball in towards the back post, and it eludes everyone, and it actually flicks off Pedro Neto, and that allows Bernd Leno to dive on it, because for a second there, it looked as though Fulham were a bit stretched in the box.
Yes, it's decent play by Chelsea on the left-hand side. A nice run into the box, and then it just chips and dinks the ball in towards the 6-yard box. And Neto is well marked, so he just get a touch to the ball. And if maybe Jackson or Fernandes in the middle had been a bit more alert, they could have got the rebound instead of the ball going into the goalkeeper.
Well, but Chelsea have won the ball straight back as Fulham look to go forward, and then Caicedo is brought down with a good challenge from Castagna, and now it's Adama Traore, and he's Fuller running. He's over the halfway line. He's got some space down the left there for Iwobi. Iwobi's been forced out wide. There are two Fulham players in the box, Traore and Jimenez. Iwobi now trying to get it back onto his right foot, and it's back onto his left. He drives one into the 6-yard box. It's easily blocked by Adebayo. Gusto with the clearance up towards the halfway line. But tell you what, Chelsea are sending players forward, and Fulham, if they're winning it, they're going to try and take advantage.
It's a great run by Traore in the midfield. We all know when he just gets the turbo on and no one's stopping him. It's almost impossible to tackle him from behind. And this time it's a really good pass to Iwobi, who just about ran into traffic in the box, but they win the ball back again now. Now Robinson on the left.
They do. It's a good challenge from the ball. It was a challenge from Bassi, then it was a ball down to Iwobi. His pass finds Robinson. His cross into the area is quickly picked up now by Robert Sanchez, who bowls it out quickly. As the game's suddenly picking up in pace now, as the Chelsea can sense that the visitors are hunting for that first goal. It's now Cole Palmer in midfield here for Chelsea, out towards Sancho on the left-hand side, gets to the edge of the area, threads the ball forward for Palmer, who carried on his run, and then he rolls the ball into the 6-yard box. It was always a little bit too slow, I think, and Leno could see that one coming.
Yeah, but it's end-to-end stuff now, and Chelsea straight on attack on the left-hand side. Nice little pass into Cole Palmer in the box. It needs to be more of an angled cross that from Palmer, so it's just straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. But yeah, decent start to the game. Fulham's really impressed me. They are not sitting back. I expected them to be a bit more defensive, and they have been. So all credit to them so far. Yeah,
it's been a good start from Fulham, just as there's been a bit of a slow start from Chelsea. But that long ball up towards Jimenez is easily dealt with by Adebayo. Chelsea now back in position. Just a one goal so far in the Premier League. As we mentioned, it was in the first couple of minutes. Newcastle taking the lead against Aston Villa. All the other games are goalless. And just to remind you, in the early game today, it finished Man City 1, Everton 1. And still to come, 5:30 is Wolves against Manchester United. And then at 8 o'clock, we've got Liverpool against Leicester City as well. As well as a couple of offerings from the later games in the Championship. But it's Chelsea now back in possession. We've got 12 minutes on the clock here. Unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. Goalless at Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea lose the ball there. It's just away from Neto. It's played up in the air by Issa Diop. It's a loose ball that Chelsea have now won back in midfield, and it's quickly played by Caicedo out towards the left-hand side here for Jadon Sancho. Sancho taking on Castagna and getting away from Castagna initially, but the Belgian international hasn't had taken no for an answer just yet. He tries to get that ball back, but it's Sancho who then lays the ball off here for Palmer. Palmer getting away from Castagna and from Traore, but also getting away from the penalty area as well, as he lays it off now towards Caicedo. Under pressure from Iwobi going back towards Adebayo, and Chelsea are keeping the ball moving, but there's no easy option into the penalty area. It's now back with Pedro Neto on the right. His ball into the box is quickly volleyed clear and back towards the halfway line. And so far, Fulham are coping with what Chelsea are doing.
They are, and we could almost see what Marco Silva was thinking before the kick-off there with Castagna. Really good defending, one-on-one against Sancho. Sancho tried to get past him. He just defended space, and they had to pass it all the way around the penalty area instead of into the box. So really good defending by Castagna. So Chelsea getting a bit more into the game now. But Fulham pressing quite high, so it's all to play for.
Absolutely. I think from Fulham's perspective, they have to try and press high. We know that every team in the world could give the ball away if they're always going to play out from the back. So the law of averages tells you that, just as we say, with commentators curse, just as we're saying that, Chelsea do give the ball away playing out from the back. It was a poor ball from Adebayo, picked off here by Iwobi, and Fulham have a chance down the left-hand side, but the ball from Robinson is over here. Jimenez will chase it, because there was miscommunication there between Adebayo and his goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. Eventually, Adebayo does get rid of it, and it's Fernandes' ball up towards the halfway line, where Anderson is brought down by Jackson, says the linesman, and that will be a free kick to Fulham. But again, it's messy from Chelsea, but Fulham perhaps aren't making them pay properly.
Absolutely, and a bit of a poor pass into the box first from Fulham, and then they just chased it in towards the goalkeeper. Adebayo and Sanchez, you take it, no, you take it, and eventually he cleared it. He did what he had to do as a defender, just taking no risk. But now Fulham can come again with Robinson on the left-hand side.
Robinson is playing like a winger rather than a left-back here so far. The American international going back towards Iwobi's ball into the box is picked up, but then Jimenez gets a chance. Iwobi was stopped at the edge of the area. Jimenez then picked up the loose ball, took a touch and sent a curling effort towards goal. It's straight down the middle though, so it's an easy save in the end for Robert Sanchez. But 14 minutes on the clock, and the more likely team to score right now are the visitors.
Absolutely, and it's all on the left-hand side with Robinson in particular and Iwobi on the left. They have created nearly chances, at least created chances. Looks like even are they playing a 4 at the back with Robinson as a left winger with Castagna on the right back?
Well, he's sort of dropping a bit. Yeah. I think he's basically been told, Robinson, that he's going to be doing a lot of running today. So he's got to be part of a back 5. But then they also want him joining that midfield as well because, I mean, he's a very good defender, Robinson. But I think he does his best work down that left wing really when he's getting forward. And he might have to do some work in defence now though, because here comes Malagusto for Chelsea. His ball into the box is blocked by Calvin Bassey. It's back with Malagusto here on the right-hand side. And he plays it back towards Pedro Neto, who's in a slightly deeper role this time. He spreads the play over towards the left-hand side here for Levi Colwill. Into Palmer, who just skips away from Pereira. He skips away from Lukic and threads the ball into the back of the net. It's a fabulous goal from Cole Palmer. Just says a quick hello to the Fulham fans behind that goal where Chelsea are attacking. And it's his standard freezing cold celebration as well there from Palmer. But I tell you what, he's had about 3 touches of the ball so far in this game. Drops the shoulder, gets away from 2 players, and then it's such a delicate finish, and Chelsea lead 1-0.
Yeah, and this time it's his first touch. That's just fantastic. And then he just dribbles past a couple of players and just passes it through the legs of Adara Bayoyo, and it's rather Bassey.
Diop, it was Diop.
Yeah, Diop.
Not makes Diop there as that ball is played, but I mean, what I like about that goal is that there's no real power from Cole Palmer. He knows exactly where he wants that ball to go. Finally gets an opportunity there and takes it superbly. And for all the good work that Fulham have done early in this game, it's now Chelsea that lead. Yeah,
and Cole Palmer, what it does before he receives the ball, he twists his body. He's got it exactly where he wants it, and it just goes forward towards goal. And yeah, should the goalkeeper do better there? I'm not sure, but it's a disguised shot from about...
It is a disguised shot. I mean, the power of the shot will frustrate Leno because obviously that power, he should be able to save it if he sees it, but it's the fact that he has got the big frame of Issa Diop just in front of him and then the ball goes through his legs before he can react. It's in the back of the net. Both teams are saying this should be a corner, and Cucurella wins the argument with the linesman this time as Castagna was trying to say that it should be a corner kick rather than a goal kick. It's now back with Robert Sanchez, but Cole Palmer, he's still got 12 goals this season. Bearing in mind this is still in December and he's actually a midfielder, not a striker. I know they're saying that he's not been as good as last season, but he's still pretty good.
It's a phenomenal player, and I think for Man City, they're pretty good at selling players and they're not really delivering when they go to the other clubs. But I bet a buyback clause for Cole Palmer. They would have loved it, Man City now.
They would have, yeah. I think that it's obviously it's all part of this the PSR rules as well. If you can sell a youth product, then it's 100% profit for the transfer fee. So in terms of balancing the books, that's very important. But I actually do think, I'm just going off on a very quick tangent, I do think it's a shame that we as football fans have to know stuff like that. We shouldn't really have to, be concerned about the fact that there are now football finance experts making a very good living from being experts in that field. Obviously, I have no problem with them individually, but it is such a shame that they're such a big part of football.
Yeah, no, it's well, you could say it's wrong. It shouldn't really be like that. So Man City, Fulham almost giving the ball away just inside the penalty area.
Me and Eirik are just getting into a quick conversation because there was Fulham in easy possession inside their own half, but then they made a bit of a mess of it here. They were playing out from the back. Leno just rolls the ball here to Lukic, and Lukic plays the ball back to Leno. They were claiming, Chelsea, that there was a back pass, but actually the referee Sam Barrett gave a free kick for the foul on Lukic. I don't think there was much of a foul on him, but
very lucky.
Fulham will be very happy, absolutely. They'll be very happy to take that because they were getting in trouble in front of their own box.
Yeah, may not have been a back pass either because it was challenged, so he could get away with being almost like a tackle back to the goalkeeper.
That's right. I mean, these days it really has to be very, very blatant. You basically have to roll the ball into your goalkeeper's arms for the referee to give a back pass. We did actually see a very rare one given a few weeks ago in the game here between Chelsea and Aston Villa, but it's generally a collector's item these days to see those given. It's not like the early 90s where those poor old goalkeepers from the 80s suddenly had to use their feet, and there was real panic in their eyes. If you ever get to see any of those clips, if you're a little bit too young to remember those days, it's worth checking out how the old keepers suddenly had to start being a bit more like footballers rather than stoppers. But 19 minutes on the clock here now. It is Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. Fulham making a bit of a mess of it here between Lukic and Robinson. It's picked up here by Pedro Neto to the edge of the area. It's now Palmer back to Jackson. They're being too polite to each other. Both Jackson and Palmer could have had a shot first time. They laid it off to each other in the end. It's a very very tame effort from Palmer, and it's an easy save.
It's like he tried to side-foot it into the far corner, but it's no pace on the ball whatsoever. But Fernandes win the ball in midfield, place it to Neto, and then it's like a 1-2 between Palmer and
Jackson it was, yeah. But here come Fulham at the other end.
Oh.
It's with Raul Jimenez. We were still getting a replay of that previous Chelsea attack. We go back to live picture, and it's just Raul Jimenez picking the ball up in midfield. It started at Fulham on the left-hand side. It's a ball over from Castagna. It's a lovely touch as well from Iwobi, and maybe Jimenez should do better, but there's no other options for him.
Well, I think Robinson on the far side. If you just opened his eyes up and just looked at it and dinked it over, it would have needed a really good pass and a really good finish for Robinson to have a shot on goal, but maybe a better option for Jimenez. But yeah, Fulham, they're not still in the game, but it looks like Chelsea now with the press. They've sussed out a bit how Fulham are playing. So they've won the ball a few times now high up the pitch, Chelsea.
Yeah, well, this is the trouble, I think, for Fulham. If they're always going to play out from the back, then Chelsea are going to send plenty of men forward. Fulham sent plenty of men forward there as Chelsea were playing out from the back, but didn't help them in the end. The home side are now in possession in front of their own penalty area here with Adebayo and Caicedo. It's over to Colwell now on the left-hand side. Sancho under pressure from Castagna, and just about does enough there, Sancho, to get the ball back to Caicedo. But that's what Fulham have to do. They have to try and get in Chelsea's face wherever they can.
Absolutely, and they've got to try and avoid that pass through the press to Palmer, where he can turn, like on the goal when he managed to turn and had space in front of him. Although it wasn't too much space, because he had to wriggle his way past two defenders with his twisting and turning. A fantastic individual goal by Cole Palmer, and he's they're playing in midfield. Fulham, maybe they should try and get someone to try and follow him all the time. It looks like Lukic might be trying to do it, but now Palmer come again and shot straight at goal.
Well, I mean, the ball goes to Palmer, and he actually gets stopped initially when he was trying to get a shot away, but the ball then deflects straight back to him, so he goes for goal first time, and his effort is on target. It's Chelsea's third effort. They've all been on target so far, and they've all been from Palmer as well, but on this occasion, it's an easy save for Leno in the end.
Yeah, I looked at the run of Lukic. It looks like he's trying to follow Palmer. Not very successful at the moment, because you can't be 5 yards away from Palmer. You need to be closer. You need to maybe concede a couple of fouls, take a yellow card later in the game, because Palmer there just ran away from Lukic. Look at the Palmer and Lukic now. Fulham are attacking, and Lukic is marking Palmer.
Well, they are, and here come Fulham now with a little bit of space here for Iwobi. Just threads that ball in for Pereira, who goes for goal. It's a terrible effort from Pereira. And so there's arms aloft all over here from the Fulham teammates saying, what are you doing? I mean, there were options to play it left and right. He goes for goal from 30 yards, and he gets it very badly wrong. Yeah,
the only good thing with going for goal from long range is basically you stop a counter-attack if you have a pass or a cross into the box. But it's a poor choice by Pereira. So it's still 1-0, and Chelsea probably the only one with shots on target. I'm not sure if they had that shot on target. Fulham.
I think they may have counted one of the efforts on target. We'll just double check that what the stats are saying. But yeah, there's been one effort on target from Fulham. I think that was the one where it came off Iwobi and it was easily saved. But now Chelsea are trying to play out from back. Fulham are leaving 3 players up every time Chelsea have a goal kick. But once again, the Blues do get the ball away from their own penalty area, and they get up towards the halfway line. We're over the halfway mark now in this first half. It's 23 minutes gone. Chelsea 1, Fulham 0, and it will be Eirik to take us through to half-time.
Thank you, Paul. It's been an entertaining first 23 minutes. A very nice football game on Boxing Day between two rivals. Not many tackles between the sides. So it's a free-flowing football game so far with Adebayo on the ball now towards Palmer. He can turn and play it out to Sancho on the left-hand side. One-on-one against Castagna into the box. Goes infield, tries to find Jackson, but it just goes in the back heel of Robinson into the goalkeeper. But that's, again, Palmer in midfield. Turns. He managed to turn, so Lukic is not doing his job at the moment at all.
Tell you what, whichever pundits and influencers and football people started spreading this rumour that Palmer's having a quiet season, they're the ones that should be to blame now, because it means that perhaps opposition teams are just allowing him that little bit more space, which is a big mistake. He's still the most difficult player in that Chelsea team, and he's, as we saw with that goal, he's someone who can make something out of nothing, and as soon as you've got a player like that in your team, it's very dangerous.
It's been involved in everything Chelsea's done forward so far. So Chelsea now in defence. They're trying to play it through the Fulham press. The ball out to Colwell. Finds Cucurella just inside his own half. And Fulham with the press Traore, Pereira, Jimenez and Iwobi just on the halfway line, and now ball over the top is cleared away by Bassi. One back by Castagna after a bit of back and forwards. Now Diop plays it in field to his goalkeeper Leno. So it's 25 minutes on the clock soon, and still 1-0 Chelsea. And Fulham are trying to play that from the back, and they do it not convincingly, and it's just percentage play. It's terrible play.
Three times Fulham inside their own half almost give the ball away, and they'll be so glad that there's a foul from Cucurella there that just gives them a free kick. Because I mean, Marco Silva wants his team to play out from the back, but not like that. I mean, that was very, very, very dangerous.
But it's just sloppy play. It's poor individual passing game. Short passes, but Lukic now tried to play it to Bassi on the left-hand side. He's the left winger now, Bassi. Good run by Bassi. This is a good chance for Fulham, with Robinson waiting on the left-hand side. And Bassi goes all the way to the goal and puts a shot on goal. Oh, what a run by Bassi. And managed to get a shot on goal. No one expected him to not pass the ball. Well, I didn't expect it. It's a fantastic run by the defender.
Who had that as a prediction? Yeah. Calvin Bassi starts with the ball still 10 yards inside his own half, skips away from two players, then drops his shoulder and skips away from another two players, breaking into the box. I mean, it's to say, I've got no bias either towards Chelsea or Fulham, but I really wanted him to score that, because it would be such a rare thing for a big, stocky centre-back, really, as Bassi is, to score something that wingers would be proud of. But here come Chelsea.
Yeah, Palmer with an over-it pass this time, goes out for a goal kick. But yeah, Bassi, just the icing on the cake there, would it? If you just had looked up and then seen Jimenez and Pereira in the middle, and it could have been a tap-in. But when you've done that run, you look at, I know myself when I played, you look down, you lose your bearings. You don't know where you have your players.
Yeah, I mean,
especially from Bassi, he's not used to doing a run like that.
No, he's not. As I say, but Bassi's almost in foreign territory there by the time he got towards the penalty area. We're getting word of a potential goal at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Palace. Confirm that in just a second, as there was a little bit of a break in play in our game here, as Palmer seems to be in a bit of trouble. He still looks like he's in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, it's that'd be very good news for Fulham if he's in trouble. Bad news for neutrals and Chelsea fans who like to see Palmer play football. It's just a joy to watch Cole Palmer. He's one of the players. He's got to be first on the England team sheet now, Cole Palmer. I think it will always start for England now.
I think so. I think, as I say, we're all gonna have to wait another few months until Thomas Tuchel picks his first squad and picks his first 11. But you would imagine that Palmer's got to be a big part of that. It's how England are going to. You'd imagine under Tuchel being more of an attack-minded team, where the number 10 role is going to be a lot more important than the number 6 role, as it was under the previous manager.
Absolutely right. But now Lukic and Fulham try to go forward on the left-hand side. Played back to now the new dribbling fantastico defender Bassi. Plays it now back pass to Leno. Oh, it's the pass out to Diop and that to Castagna. It works all right for Fulham, but they're under pressure with Jimenez almost at his own 18-yard box.
It's almost like Fulham are doing a training drill where they're having to make it just more difficult for themselves to defend. It's almost like they're trying to put themselves under pressure. And once again, Leno had 4 players to pass to there. He launches the ball out for a throw. It's a throw to Chelsea, still inside the Fulham half. And they're just making it more difficult themselves. I mean, credit to Iwobi there that he's won the ball back for his team, but it's not been. It's still a little bit messy here from Fulham. As good as they have been going forward, they're a little bit chaotic at the back. Yeah,
at the back, it's not working 100%, but they are, like so many teams, they are sticking to the guns. It's like we are playing this way, therefore we will just carry on doing it. We want to create the overload, but now it's Traore who runs into traffic from the back. So Chelsea, they've done their homework on Fulham, so they basically are blocking the route up for Fulham, who now gets quite a fortunate throw-in on the right-hand side from Castagna to Pereira.
Just to say very quickly that there was no goal at the game between Bournemouth and Palace. That's still 0, but there has now been a goal at the City Ground. It's Nottingham Forest 1, Tottenham 0. It's Anthony Elanga with the goal. So the surprise package at the top in the top 4. Forest are still playing very well, and more problems for Spurs.
Absolutely, and got to be the story of the season. Now, surely a free kick against Robinson, and goes into the penalty area. still the passes to Robinson, I'm not been impressed with the final pass. Very often they can shield it, and goalkeeper can just look for the ball.
Too far ahead. I mean, you have to play it into space for Robinson so he can run onto it, but they need to give him something to work with. A couple of occasions it's just been a long ball, hoping that he can get on the end of it, and as you say, it just makes it that much easier to defend against. And now Chelsea have a free kick anyway after that foul from Anthony Robinson.
Yeah, just wondering when Fulham is going to try and attack on the right hand side, because it's not been it's been on the left solidly throughout the game.
Castagna and Traore aren't exactly a bad pairing on the right, are they? I mean, you'd think that they should be able to do something, and actually potentially Cucurella can be got at a little bit more as well, but it's for the time being it's Chelsea on the attack.
Yeah, Chelsea now on the right hand side. Jackson receives the ball just outside the penalty area with ball back to Colwill, closer to the halfway line. Now Cucurella, he just passes it into the path of Sancho just outside the penalty area on the left hand side. He's playing infield now to Adara Bayoyo. Now to Gusto on the right hand side. Nice, just going to say nice, neat play by Chelsea. It's a terrible pass by Fernandes, but fantastic interception by his teammate Neto to keep that ball in the Chelsea possession. And go all the way back to the goalkeeper Sanchez. Decent save from that shot from Bassett. Easy save, but you've got to do the easy thing correct if you're a goalkeeper. Otherwise, you end up with a lot of mistakes. I think Leno for the goal for Chelsea maybe should have been more alert. But now it's a terrible pass out for Fulham. Bring Paul in a second, and it's a foul against Jackson. That's awful pass by I think it was Anderson. Then he commits the foul.
Yeah, I mean everything's wrong there for the Danish international. As you say, he gave the ball away with a pointless little lob up towards the halfway line. The ball is then played straight back towards the Fulham penalty area. Then Anderson trips Jackson, and it's a free kick for Chelsea, which is very much within shooting range. And already Cole Palmer and Enzo Fernandez are measuring it up. Yeah,
it's just right of centre, so it doesn't really matter if it's a right or a left foot. The ball's about a yard inside the box, so that'll be easily measured 18 yards plus 9 minus 1, so that's 26 yards out.
Excellent.
Yeah,
footballing arithmetic there from
yes,
my colleague.
Indeed, yeah. So if the ball then is 9 yards away from play, I think it might be 10 yards.
Just to tell you as well that it's still 1-0 to Newcastle against Villa, but Villa are down to 10 men.
Wow.
A straight red card there for John Duran, so he's in the team today to replace Ollie Watkins, but now it looks like they're going to be replacing him for a few games. Yeah,
I'm not sure what type of foul. Obviously, if it's violent conduct, it will be 3 games. If not, it's just a game. So now the free kick is got Palmer and Fernandes are lining up to take this free kick. It looks like it will be a shot. 2 players for Fulham. Now for Chelsea are also the wall just right of the Fulham wall, just left as Chelsea are playing. So Palmer with his left or Fernandes with his right. Taking a while before this free kick is taken, but Cole Palmer goes and puts the ball straight at the head. What plays in the wall? It just jumped and you could say the good old cliche did its job there. The wall with Chelsea winning the ball back after that. Rebound from the wall, and eventually it's out for a throw in to Fulham. You see what Palmer tried to do there. He tried to dink it as close to over the wall as possible to get it under the bar, but it was
it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because you've got to get it everything right, just the amount of power to lift it over the wall, but also get it on target in the end. As you mentioned there, the wall jumped and was able to block that particular effort. Off Caicedo now brought down by Adama Traore. It will be a free. We can see. Interesting that you mentioned about why Fulham aren't attacking on the right. Looking at Marco Silva's hand gestures there, he seemed to be pointing to his near side, which is the right-hand side for Fulham. It's almost like he's saying, look, we have got some quality and some pace on that right-hand side. Let's try and use it. But he must be very frustrated with the way Fulham have looked at the back today. Just not bad in terms of defensive organisation. Chelsea haven't had a huge amount of chances, but it's just the way Fulham give the ball away time and again. But here come Chelsea now with Jackson.
Yes, Robinson just giving the ball away, and it's a free kick against Jackson, and it's a yellow card, which stops a potential quick free kick. Chelsea tried to take a quick one. Yeah, you said that they've given the ball this time. It's Robinson who, it's up there, heads the ball from the sideline infield. You're told by every coach that you shouldn't do that, basically, unless you know you have a team player there. Yeah. So
well, no, it's just to say that it's far too risky, and it's forced Lukic then into a foul to try and stop Nicholas Jackson. There wasn't actually that much in it, but it's the intent, isn't it? He stopped Jackson from turning, so it's an easy decision there for the referee.
And Lukic, who's now trying to mark Palmer. He's got to be really careful now. The rest of the game, it's not the ideal booking for Fulham. So the free kick now, it's probably about 30 yards out on the right hand side. It's probably too far out on the right for a shot on goal, but Palmer and Fernandes are on the ball. So the ball from Fulham, it's Traore. He's on the 18-yard line. So see, again, it takes a while. There's a bit of a team talk between Fernandes and Palmer before this free kick will be taken. Right arm up in the air from Enzo Fernandes. He will take the free kick into the far end. Oh, it's Cucurella, must score. Oh, it's a great save by Leno. Whoa, he had all the space. And now it's countered for Jimenez and Fulham. But it's countered again. What a chance for Cucurella. It should be 2-0.
He's got the whole goal to aim at, and he tries to head it across the goalkeeper. It's a really good save that from Leno, and then Fulham get a little bit of luck with the rebound, because of course there could have been another Chelsea player there lurking, but they do get a quick clearance in. And there's a handball there from Diop, I thought, but referee says play on.
Yeah, it's the terrible defending by Diop, who miscalculates the bounce of the ball, and it hits his hand. It would have been a handball if it hadn't been a advantage, but the advantage was played. But now ball over the top for Iwobi and Fulham. Will they get a chance now with 1-on-1 against Gusto, just on the left-hand side, goes infield. Good defending for Fulham, but now for Chelsea rather, and the ball towards Lukic. Will he get the ball? He managed to keep it in play and actually pass it to Iwobi, but it's been gone out of play. And again, Fulham's accuracy going forward, that's let them down so many times. Easy passes that just isn't good enough.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a replay of that at Cucurella header. It's a fantastic save from Leno, because it bounces just in front of me, gets good strong hands to it. As you say, if that was an attacking player, I mean, looking at that replay there, Cucurella has pretty much headed that straight to where Leno is. It's still a brilliant save, but I'd like to think if that was a Jackson or a Palmer heading that one, then maybe they would just get that ball a little bit further away from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's that. But just looked at the technique for Cucurella. It's a diving header, but it's not properly diving, so it doesn't get as much power as if you go basically leave the ground and heads the ball. It was good save, good positioning from Leno. That's the main thing for a goalkeeper in those situations. But now Robinson gives the ball away. Now Palmer picks it up just outside the penalty area, tries to play it into Sancho. Again and again, Fulham give the ball away in dangerous positions. But now they win the ball back with Iwobi on the left-hand side. He's got no one to play it forward-wise, but plays it in field now to Pereira. Pereira now, for the first time almost in a game, on the right-hand side attacking. Back towards Pereira, just outside the penalty area. Plays it back now to Diop. Diop just calming things down for Fulham. So it's a bit of an established attack now for Fulham. Now Lukic in the middle of the park finds Anderson. We know he's got a good long passing range. Anderson. He's not had no time to put a long pass this time. But Fulham now playing infield, and it's a terrible pass. Oh, that's a yellow card all day long. It was Lukic, and it must be and I think Anderson's given a yellow card for the next foul.
For the second foul, yeah. I mean, the referee's done Fulham a favour there, really, because he could have very easily brought this back for the first challenge. That's a crazy challenge from Sasa Lukic. He's not a teenager. I mean, he's still a relatively young player, but he's not that inexperienced. He knows you can't slide in like that on a hopeful challenge to maybe win the ball when you're already on a yellow card, and he gets very lucky that the referee played the advantage, and seconds later his teammate commits another foul, and it's Anderson that gets the booking.
That's also something you see much less of now. They go back and book someone when the advantage is played.
Saw it in the early game today from Simon Hooper in the game between Man City and Everton. But yeah, I agree. It used to be like it was always they would go back and book. Now they seem to be sort of a little bit more laid back with it. But it's a short free kick from Chelsea this time. Yeah,
on the right hand, Pedro Neto now finds Gusto. Gusto with a chipped cross into the far post. It's headed infield towards from Castagna into Leno. He puts the ball out for Jimenez. It's a counter is on for Fulham. With Traore on the right hand side. 1-on-1 against Caicedo. Will Traore now go down the line? It's trying to go down the line, and then the cross comes in straight at Caicedo. Out for a corner kick for Fulham. It's better for Fulham. At least they managed to get a corner kick or set piece.
Absolutely, I agree. I think that it's a consolation prize. Ideally, you'd want Traore to get that ball in first time, but then there would have just been Jimenez in the box anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe Iwobi arriving just behind him, so there wasn't enough of a target there to aim at. This way Fulham can get a few players further forward. I mean, Robert Sanchez isn't the best goalkeeper when it comes to crosses, so there could be a chance here. It's going to be an outswinger from Andreas Pereira.
Yeah, Pereira with his right foot from the right-hand side, left arm in the air. So will they then try to find a player in the middle there? Two players from Fulham inside the box that are all running in from the penalty spot, and it's a headed ball in from a Fulham player, but it's cleared away to Neto. He tries to outpace Lukic, and Fulham win the ball back, but it's really sloppy from both teams, and out for a throw in to Fulham on the left-hand side.
Yeah, a bit of luck there for Chelsea. Really. After that initial cross from the corner, it was headed down, and it was lucky really for Chelsea that it went straight to Gusto, who could then bring the ball away, because it could have just as easily dropped to a Fulham player who could have still tried to slam the ball into the net.
Yes, it could have gone anywhere. That the first touch in the box, they bounced inside the 6-yard box and eventually cleared by Fulham. So Fulham now with a throw-in on the left-hand side. It's not the best throw-in in towards Iwobi, but they get away with it again. Fulham with Diop on the right-hand side. He finds Traore just trying to attack against Cucurella. Cucurella just wins the positional battle, and then ball goes back into their own half with Bassett. He finds Iwobi on the left-hand side. Now Robinson tries to dink the ball forwards towards Lukic. It's a good play by Chelsea, and very comfortable on the right-hand side against Robinson. They were a bit shaken to start of the game, Chelsea, but now I think they're sussed out. They know what they're trying to do, and Fulham now, they haven't been able to get the ball over the top. It's so easy for Chelsea. They win the ball back, and now they can come on the counter. Bring Paul in a second when this counter is gone, but now it's a counter on the counter, and Robinson on the left-hand side, 1-on-1 against Gusto, goes down the line, goes past Gusto. This is a good play by Robinson. Will he try to put a cross into the mixers? And Cucurella managed to clear it, but Robinson again into the penalty area, and it's cleared away by Chelsea again. And now Castagna with a cross into the box, headed away by Chelsea again, and Fulham win the ball again. It's a bit hectic for Chelsea.
It is a bit, yeah. I mean, it's credit to Fulham. They've put a bit more pressure on Chelsea now in these last few minutes, and it seems to be paying off. As say, twice they've won the ball back, still inside the Chelsea half, and trying to get second balls in, and they're going again now down the right-hand side with Castagna. Yeah,
Castagna now finds Pereira. So it's 41.5 minutes played. Fulham's arguably best spell of the game since the last the first 5 minutes of the half. Now Robinson on the right side, he finds Iwobi down by the corner flag, 1-on-1 against Gusto. Pass into Bassett. Bassett down the line. Will he go towards goal this time? Now plays it back to Robinson. Robinson now to Lukic, and it's an established press now from Fulham. And Fulham with Robinson with the ball into the mixer, and a cross into the hands of Sanchez. And now it could be a counter from that catch, and a beautiful ball out towards Neto on the right-hand side. 1-on-1 against Bassett, just outside the penalty area. Goes in the box, got Palmer waiting in the middle. Oh, the goal's just behind Palmer, and Fulham can clear again. It's end-to-end stuff.
It is end-to-end stuff, and that ball in from Palmer, it was just a little bit too short there for Chelsea to be able to take advantage of it. But it's just a quick breakout, and it's been a good little spell this for Fulham as well. They're starting to just find a little bit more space inside that Chelsea half.
Yeah, but once the ball went to the goalkeeper's hands from the cross, then they were straight on the attack, Fulham, now Chelsea. But now it's Traore on the right-hand side. He is going towards his own half, and now he goes infield, and that makes Caicedo and Jackson back towards Anderson inside the centre circle. Good pass to Pereira, or Jimenez rather. He gets dispossessed by Dardarbayo. Now the long ball over the top towards Jackson. Good chest down by Jackson, but well defended by Diop, and just read that run. So it's Chelsea now, when they win the ball, they should try to play it over the top to Jackson or Palmer almost every time, and it's close. A bit better. If he shielded the ball better there, Jackson, he could have had a shot on target.
I think so. I think that from Jackson's point of view, I think that he needs to just get into the game a little bit more. I think sometimes because he's got players like Palmer behind him, or break off now, because here come Fulham now with the ball up to Traore.
Yeah, Traore inside the penalty area. Oh, tries to find Jimenez in the middle, but Jimenez is on his own against 4 defenders. 4 Chelsea players.
Well, and that's why the pass to him has to be better. Although, in fairness, as you say, with there's 4 defenders, it's going to be very difficult to pick him out anyway. But that ball from Traore would never look like it was going to reach him.
It's almost like you have a shot instead, because it's so difficult to find that pass, but now Jimenez picks up a loose ball after good work by Robinson. Jimenez just 30 yards out, just dinks the ball to Pereira. Back now to Lukic. He finds Iwobi. Iwobi just outside the penalty, goes infield and tries to find Pereira, but Chelsea again win the ball, and straight away a long ball up towards Jackson, who's completely surrounded by white shirts on the right hand side. He managed to win a throw in, but it's a good spell for Fulham. They're now looking to maybe get a chance or try to get a at least stopping Chelsea getting more goals before half time, because Chelsea, they were really good just after the goal and at the first 10-15 minutes. Now it's Fulham.
The last 10 minutes have been much better from Fulham's perspective. We can see Enzo Maresca's being a little bit more restless there on the touchline, but here comes Pedro Neto now for Chelsea.
Yeah, and I find Jackson just outside the penalty, but great defending by Lukic, who just runs up behind Jackson. But it's a terrible pass out from Fulham and Anderson. And now Chelsea are on the attack. Not the best pass out towards Sancho, but they win the ball back with Colwill inside their own, inside the Fulham half. So it's 1 minute added on time. So Sanchez, the man in orange today, he'll this time loft the long ball from right to left, and it's headed back by Castagna in towards Leno. So so apart from that little spell for Fulham when Chelsea created a fair few chances and scored a goal, sort of settled again, Fulham, a bit more like the first 10 minutes of the game.
I think what Marcus Silva needs to do at half-time is to just encourage his players to try and go at Chelsea a bit more, because I imagine Chelsea will come out, but here come Fulham again now. It's Robinson's ball into the box. It gets cut out by Adebayo before it reaches Jimenez, but there's still a chance of maybe one more Fulham attacking before the break.
Yeah, cross from Robinson into the box. Just Traore waiting in the middle, and Jimenez on the front post, and fantastic control by Palmer, who receives the loose ball, and now it's a clearance and out towards Jackson. Jackson is one-on-one against Anderson on the left-hand side. Will he be able to create a chance now? Plays it infield. In towards Palmer. Palmer, tries to get a shot on goal. Fantastic play, Fernandes to Palmer. But there goes the whistle for half-time. No goal from that chance. It is Chelsea 1, Fulham 0 at half-time.